There's a lot of AI in veterinary medicine that helps streamline our day, but it's mostly focused around our records. Or record keeping. You have your scribe systems, you have things that help us with dictation and things like that. What we don't have and what we should be utilizing more is something to help us with the decisions that we're making all the time. We make so many decisions day in and day out we're having to be fast paced. We're having to interpret things quickly and then act on it in a way that is impacting lives, really. And so I saw a need. And honestly, it's just that something I could use for myself, but I'm using AI to help us interpret blood work as a diagnostic reference. And so it's pattern recognition, right? It's making sure that we're not missing something. It's helping us just run through our differentials really quickly and do it in a confident way. And I use it all the time, even after I've been practicing for 15 years, because I'm by myself practicing now, and I don't want to miss something.
So the big question is this: how do veterinarians like you, who live demanding lives,
who never seem to have enough time, able to achieve balance and take control of your finances with confidence?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers.
We are Florida Veterinary Advisors, and this is the Smarter Vet Podcast. Hi, Smarter Vet. Welcome back to the Smarter Vet Financial Podcast. This is your co-host, Tom Seco, and co-founder of Florida Veterinary Advisors. We are a national personal and business financial planning firm devoted to veterinarians, practice owners, and veterinary teams to provide a different way of thinking to make financial decisions easy so you can spend time doing other things that you love. If you're first time chiming into the show, we're really happy to have you here. We've got a dozen, hundreds of episodes you can listen to, so you can go check out our library. We've got a lot of other great content as well that you can listen to or read, between master classes, race CEs, a book we published that's available on Amazon or Kindle, and a plethora of many other things. And you can find a lot of this through flvetadvisors.com. And if you've not had a chance to rate or review us, please take a moment to do that, because it really does help our show get into more people's hands so they can get the same great information that you've experienced here today. Every so often, we look to bring on some cool, interesting guests to provide different insights. And I had the pleasure of bumping into Jamie recently, and we were having some conversations. And I felt that this was for all of you who listen to this show, that this would be some insightful things that you'd want to hear. And Dr. Jamie Laity, she's an entrepreneur. She's a second-time practice owner, and she's a practicing veterinarian. She is the founder of SmartVet AI, which we're going to chat about a little bit here today. And I did find out, as we were talking to her earlier, she was like a TV personality for the local news, which is pretty cool as well. So, Jamie, it's awesome to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Tom, thank you for inviting me. This is a privilege. It's an honor. And honestly, just something fun to do. I love it. Thank you.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about your history. Where did your career in veterinary medicine start, and how did it get to where it is now?
Yeah, so I was one of those girls at like 9 that wanted to be a horse vet, and so I'm not a horse vet now, but it kind of started that way. And I ended up going to vet school at University of Georgia, go Dogs, and found out that maybe the horse industry wasn't exactly where my passions were. So I graduated in 2012 and then did my first internship in Charlotte, had a big 24-hour hospital, really kind of cut my teeth there. And it was a great place to grow up. So I was at Animal Medical Hospital for a little while. I was an intern coordinator there. So I know what it's like to be a new grad, and also how to mentor new grads. I did a lot of that for a while. And when I was about 5 years out, I was ready to start my own practice. And I opened Harbor Point Animal Hospital in Mooresville, which was really exciting. It was, your first time doing it. So of course it was exciting, but I was really proud of it because we were the only fear-free and AHA accredited hospital in the area. And last year it was the AHA Hospital of the Year. So that was after I sold it, but pretty exciting stuff, and I'm really proud of it. And then 2 years ago, I ventured out after having kids and started my own mobile practice, and that's what I do now, and I do love it. It's great. And then just on the side this summer, I started a program for veterinarians that is trying to help us through our day to day, to ease the cognitive load, the things that we have to do all the time. We make so many decisions all the time, and there's so much that's just pulling at our attention, that I wanted something to just make this a little bit easier. And so that's why I created SmartVet AI.
Wonderful. I love it. The ownership for people, especially by being an entrepreneur, some people it seems natural. Other people, they kind of stumble into it. What would you say you becoming an owner, was that something you aspired to do? Was that something you just kind of fell into?
Oh yeah, no, I always wanted to do it. And how it came to be was just, I don't want to say stumbling into it, but I had prepared a lot and I was going to do it on my own. And I don't want to say a failure to launch, because that's not true. It was just, I didn't know the steps to do it in order, and how to get there. I spent months making a business plan, and in reality, like, that's not where you need to throw all your energy. But in my head, that's what I needed to do. And so I ended up partnering with a person locally who had done this before, and we went in together. And that was really wonderful for me, because I kind of got to make a lot of decisions myself, but also with the support of someone behind me who has said, okay, this is how you negotiate with your big distributors, and this is how you set your prices, and that kind of thing. And so that was an important partnership for me.
I gotcha. Yeah, entrepreneurship is a path we have conversations with people about very often, and there tends to be really two camps that people live in. It's like they want to be an owner, or they don't want to be an owner.
Yeah.
It seems that more people are in like, I don't want to be an owner than they want to. And I think it's like one of those big scary things that I hear so frequently. I went to vet school. They didn't talk business. Finances wasn't really a thing.
No, and we're not good at it as a group of people. Like, it's not our strength. It's not what we want to do. It's not what we went to school for, not what we're passionate about. So when we do find ourselves in those positions, it's, maybe not our sole focus. So we need people like you to help us get through the day to day.
Hi, I'm Joe Kowalski, event director for the Wild West and New York Vet Shows, two conferences aiming to give you the education and information you need to be a successful practice owner. With two stellar programs to choose from and the ability to earn up to 36 CE credits at Wild West Vet or 16 credits at New York Vet, our team has you covered from clinical advances to the business necessities. Join us this October in either Reno, the 14th to the 17th, or in New York City, the 29th to 30th, and become a member of the Vet Show family. For listeners ready to make plans now, use the code NEXTSTEP, one word, at checkout and receive $50 off your conference pass at either show. Remember, that's one word, next step, for $50 off. Head over to us.vetshow.com to learn more.
Yes. I mean, surprisingly, it's like there's some people, veterinary medicine, there's a lot of just success that I noticed that the practices have, especially if you open a good area, you offer a good service, there's good people that work there. It seems like it almost becomes an instant success from what I've observed over time. And there are a lot of people who do avoid, or I wouldn't say avoid, they just never see the importance of working with someone to help them, other than they get their accountant and then they file their taxes.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it's like I was talking with a 70-year-old veterinarian who wants to sell. And the only reason why we're even talking right now is because the broker he's been chatting with said, hey, you need a financial advisor. And I'm like, wow, how did we get to this path?
Right.
And now all of a sudden we're looking at this. So I think it's being an entrepreneur too. It's, sometimes the finances part of it is one thing, but it's like, especially there's like a specific mindset that comes into just being an owner versus being the person always doing the work.
Well, and as veterinarians, I think we're really accustomed to just winging it. There's not always, set guidance on how to do something. And like, for instance, if you put 10 of us in a room and ask us to spay a dog, we're all going to do it a little bit differently. And so if you put 10 owners in a room and ask them to run a business, we'll all do it a little bit differently. And some of us wing it more than others. And I think that's how we kind of get here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But planning is important, and having people on your team.
Look, by all means, like we're all after trying to have a certain amount of freedom and success in our lives. And, how we get there, we all have slightly different paths, or maybe some are very dramatically different paths. And, On the note of, because you sold your previous practice and then you started this new mobile practice, WonderVet, and what motivated you to, I sold this one and now let's just start another one. Like, what drove that?
You said something earlier about wanting more freedom and autonomy, or I don't remember exactly what you said, but that resonated. And I think it resonates with a lot of us, especially as you've been in your career for a little bit. You want a little bit more flexibility. You want more autonomy. You want to be able to do things and still have financial freedom. And that's where the WonderVet was born out of. I had two small kids. I had two kids within 2 years. And, being a mom is important to me. And we're an industry full of women, and so having the space to be able to do both things. I didn't want to give up my career. I love my career. But I also didn't want to give up being a mom either, or being available for my children. And so that's really when I decided to part ways with my brick and mortar and give myself a little bit more freedom and have the mobile practice. And it's kind of the best of both worlds. I get a break from my kids and also get to enjoy practicing.
Get to play with some animals during the day. And then
exactly.
I always love the opportunity to sit down in the middle of the day and just my little dog Theodore comes sits next to me and I get to pet him for a little while. There's just something, I was listening to a book too. It's like having one of the things that reduce your stress in life is just have an animal, because there's like this unconditional love that they give you.
It's very grounding.
Yes, it's amazing. So for any of you who are chiming into this is Tom Seco. I'm over here speaking with Dr. Jamie Laity, and we've been having some good conversation around her experience of being a veterinarian, starting practices, owning businesses. And, there's one venture that Jamie really has cracked into lately, and I'd like to talk with you more about this around SmartVet AI.
Yes. Yeah. So
AI is taking things by like a frenzy right now. What made you get into it?
This was something that I just felt like there's a lot of AI in veterinary medicine that helps streamline our day, but it's mostly focused around our records, our record keeping. You have your scribe systems, you have things that help us with dictation and things like that. What we don't have and what we should be utilizing more is something to help reduce all of these not reduce, but help us with the decisions that we're making all the time. We make so many decisions day in and day out we're having to be fast paced. We're having to interpret things quickly and then act on it in a way that is impacting lives, really. And so I saw a need, and honestly, it's just that something I could use for myself, but I'm using AI to help us interpret blood work as a diagnostic reference. And so it's pattern recognition, right? It's making sure that we're not missing something. It's helping us just run through our differentials really quickly and do it in a confident way. And I use it all the time, even after I've been practicing for 15 years, because I'm by myself practicing now, and I don't want to miss something. There's plenty of cases where I'm like, is there something that I should be thinking of? And so it's nice just to have this program that, was built for veterinarians, because it's what we use in day-to-day life.
When I think of AI, because there's a lot of people that they're still like, I'm not sure about it. And then I see a lot of people that have been jumping on it. And, I've always considered where AI comes into play is like, it's saving me time. Like, it's helping me buy back time that I can use for other things. And I've heard from some people too, they're like, oh, well, my job's going to go away from AI and some other factors. And I'm like, I honestly think it's just going to elevate everyone to the next level and put them in a spot to where they can even deliver better medicine and they can spend more time doing the things that really matter.
1,000%. I think that most people, the people that are skeptical of AI, it's because it comes from a place of fear for their jobs, or maybe distrust of something else generating information. And I am a firm believer that our brains are important and we should never give up our schooling and education. And that's a really important part. And also, you can still use tools to make your day more efficient and,
Mhm.
um, like you said, elevate practice. And I think that people who are we're a skeptical community. I mean, veterinarians, we're
I'm aware.
yeah, we can be some tough nuts to crack. So, as a group of people, we're always going to be maybe late adopters, especially when it comes to technology. And so AI is one of those things. And, I hope that people who are listening and people who try SmartVet AI maybe can uh, take some comfort in fact that a practicing veterinarian built this. So it's not just big tech that's creating something to sell to us. It's something that I made to make our lives easier, and I use. So I do think that AI can help us with the decisions that we make all the time.
When we were talking about earlier about the being able to take stuff and compare, and what would you say to the core of what SmartVet AI does for a veterinarian who uses it?
Yes. So SmartVet AI is going to interpret your blood work based on the case in front of you. So you're going to give it the history and the physical exam, and then it will generate a report, not just telling you all the causes of anemia, but why your 12-year-old German Shepherd is likely to be anemic. And it will generate a list of differentials, and it'll also give you some next steps in diagnostics and some next treatment recommendations. And then it also makes a separate report for clients that is a simplified version of all of that. So it's going to improve client communication, and it is going to help streamline medicine a little bit, so that we're not missing things. I also think that it helps ease the burden of mentorship. We've got a lot of new grads coming out a lot of early career vets who are still trying to figure out how to practice. And in big practices, you've got, I don't want to say a burden, but there's mentors that can only do so much while they're practicing. And so this is just going to help ease that as well.
Mm. What would you say, because the people that are concerned with using it, because I think anything to make my life simpler and requires me not have to, there's so much like footwork that I know I was even doing. And we recently got approval to start using an AI system for our meetings, and it creates recaps. And I think about just the amount of energy it requires for me to go through after a conversation or while I'm in the middle of trying to do something to, interpret and be able to make at least somewhat of a good decision where it's, I love the ability to have something in front of me. It can give me options and things to choose from. And I'm just, where would you see is the downside of even using something like this?
I think that what people are going to worry about is, what practicing veterinarians are going to worry about as the downside is that we're giving up our mental space, that our mental muscle that interprets blood work. Like we're giving up some of that knowledge that we've learned. But I would say, as a counter to that, you should never just automate completely. You should, with blood work interpretation, you should always look at it and make sure that that's what you agree with as well, that it makes sense. So you're not completely giving it up. But I do think that having that mental space free to then focus on something else is an important part as well. I mean, we're, jumping from exam room to exam room, and you can miss something quickly because you're putting out a fire over here, or you've got, emotionally charged interaction over here, and you might not be thinking as clearly all the time. I know that I get it.
Yes. Yeah. I would, on the note of, not practicing your blood work, brain muscles and
Yeah,
stuff.
and to exercise it. Yeah.
I mean, in all reality, I mean, I feel like that's such a small thing in the grand scope of what you do yourself and what other veterinarians do, that, I mean, if you are going to, I guess to have like little refreshers and stuff every so often would be useful, just to, it's like if you don't use a language, eventually you're going to start forgetting something. It's going to be very hard to recall. However, I would probably be focusing on like, how do I deliver like the best possible care for this animal? And if I'm getting so caught up and tripped up on like I need to be able to learn how to read blood work, I mean, that's just in my mind, I'm like, man, that's time consuming. I want to focus on hanging out with pets and talking with people and doing all the fun stuff,
As a doctor, it is a really important part of how we diagnose and treat. I mean, a huge part. And so being able to do that effectively is really important. And I also think that there also comes a little bit of a bias when you start to have some experience reading blood work and interpreting and practicing and all of those things that we do every day. If you see something all the time, you're always going to lean towards that one diagnosis because you've seen it over and over again. And I know that I'm guilty of it, but if you have something else that can give you a quick snapshot to say, oh, but did you think of this? That's where I'm really utilizing this tool for, because you don't always have someone to bounce ideas off of. You don't always have time to go sit and look things up in a book, or do a deep dive on Venn. So I think that it's something that, within a minute and a half to 2 minutes, you can have a pretty comprehensive report of the patient in front of you. I think it's helpful. Yeah,
I would agree. Where do people, if they want to check out SmartVet AI, where do they go to learn more about it?
Yeah, so our website's really easy. It's www.smartvetai.com. And right on the landing page, there is a video of me, yours truly, walking you through how to use it and just a quick demo, but it is super user friendly. You just point and click and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And like I said, within a minute and a half to 2 minutes, you can have a full report and then also make a client-friendly report. And that's the thing that I think is really important as well, because not only do we have to be really good diagnosticians and have this language of doctors, language of veterinarians, you also need to be able to translate that, speak a different language, and talk to a client who doesn't know what we went to school for. And so
yes.
That transition is hard, and not everybody is great at it. And even now I still stumble. There's plenty of times where I go into an exam room and think, well, I could have done that better. So the client summary piece of it, I think, is really helpful because it just helps keep communication clear.
I gotcha. That's cool. For everyone listening, if you missed the link, we'll also put it in the show notes.
Thank you.
And at the same time, we'll put in some of Jamie's information if you want to try to get in contact with her as well. Do you have any other final thoughts you want to add on this?
I think that being a veterinarian is challenging all day, every day. And of course, there's great positive parts of it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. But I think that there are things that we can do to make our lives easier. And in the same way that, like financial planning, there are things that we can do to make us more successful. I do think that there are tools that we can use, and we don't have to be afraid to use them.
I love it. Jamie, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here for all the listeners.
Oh, thank you for inviting me and for the support. I love it. And the platform. Thank you.
Smarter Vet, hope you enjoyed this show. Some really good nuggets that I got out of it. I hope you were at least able to take away something. You get a chance to check out SmartVet AI, even if you're an owner or an associate. Maybe you can elevate your business and what you're doing to the next level. And if you've not had a chance to rate and review us, please take a time to do that. Spotify or Apple are the main two platforms we use. And if you found this episode to be insightful or have a favorite, make sure to share it with your friends in your community so they can hear about the same great content that you've heard here today. This is Tom Seco, wishing you a lifetime of financial success. Don't forget to visit our website and sign up for our newsletter. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know about upcoming race-approved CE webinars, podcast releases, short presentations, and articles that we publish. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on LinkedIn, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.